What is up, Bomb Squad? Welcome to the Burndown YouTube channel. I want to make a talking head video. I want to start doing this a little bit more because A, I want to throw my opinion out because I actually have one about drag and drive, and I know the world needs more opinion, right? We definitely need that. But two, there's a lot of questions and things and hurdles to overcome if you want to enter one of these events. What do you do with your car? What's the best this or that, or how do you afford it? Like today's video, the topic of today's video is the cost of a drag and drive and how to afford it. So a lot of you may have questions on how you're going to do it, or you just think, oh, I can never do that. We can't do that. It's too much or it's too whatever. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can do it. I'm going to give you some advice on how to wrap your head around the cost of doing it, but you got to stick with me, listen to the banter, and we're going to have a good time. So let's jump right into it. I've been to 3 of these now, right? And it may not seem like that, man. It's like, oh, you've only been to like 3 drag race events. Well, going to one, it's a lot bigger than going to a drag race event. It is a big deal to go. And trust me, you get seasoned very quickly. You either learn, adapt, overcome, fall in love with it, or you will never come back. Those are your options, and that's how it seems like everybody works out. So your first one, you were green, you're gonna set the world on fire. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're gonna get tested, you're gonna learn a bunch, and you're either going to turn into a complete crackhead like I am, and there is no not going to one, or you're going to go, that is the dumbest thing I ever did. What a waste of my time and effort, right? So those are your options as far as my opinion goes. Usually it's the former and not the latter. I've been to 3 events. They've all been Rocky Mountain Race Week. Bing, got the shirts to prove it. And in my opinion, it is a premier event. I would say there's three premier events, right? You've got Rocky Mountain Race Week. You've got the OG one, which is Drag Week. I can't even think of it because, yeah. And then Sick Week is now like the 3rd premier one. And then you have a whole host of smaller ones, little ones, 3-day events, some other ones popping up that are different. But the 3 staple ones would be those 3. Out of those 3, Rocky Mountain Race Week has the longest and hardest drives, bar none, right? So you need to factor that in to which one you want to go to and why you want to do it. In my opinion, Rocky Mountain Race Week, everybody says that Sick is a Super Bowl because they have all the fast cars. Well, yeah, they don't drive very far either. So take that into consideration for what you will. If you got a 6-second car and you want to see whatever and you're closer to Florida, you can have at it. If you really want the challenge and the struggle and a great family, you can come over and do Rocky Mountain Race Week. And then if you're in the Midwest and Hot Rod Drag Week is your jam and you can get in, that one seems awesome as well. I would love to participate in all of them, but so far, my opinion is based solely on going to 3 Rocky Mountain Race Weeks, and boy, it's something, let me tell you. So, let's get into this. Today's topic is the cost of a drag and drive and how to afford it. So, these are very expensive. It is not like it is some walk in the park. It's not like going to a local test and tune and you throw a little bit of money at it and you come home and you're like, oh, awesome, you don't break the bank. It is something that is a week-long adventure. There's travel costs associated. You might break parts. You might, hotel rooms, food, gas, all that stuff. And you need to take it into consideration when you sign up for one of these. You're making a commitment. It's not like when you fill the form out and you pay $400 or whatever it costs, $500, you're done. No, that's where it starts. And especially if you get in, that's a commitment that you're like, man, I have to have all this other money in order to facilitate and finish this event. And you want to have a good time. You don't want to be stressed out about money the whole time. Because again, you're there to have an experience. You're not there to worry. You don't worry enough about your car, let alone your bank account. So set yourself up for success and don't fail before you even start. So I would say on average, the average cost of a drag and drive week-long event is somewhere between $2,000 to $4,000. Yeah, I know, you probably spit your Coke out or whatever you're drinking, like, how much is it? Well, the cost to entry, roughly, I think it was $450 or $500. Don't quote me, I don't know. I just hit the button and we go at this point. I'm like a complete crackhead and I need my fix. But the barrier to entry, if you figure, let's say, I think it's $500. That's a week's worth of racing and multiple tracks. And you get, multiple passes, but again, it's a week-long adventure with people, so it's not a $500 test and tune day. You're going to go to multiple tracks, see different things, go to different places, and they got to cover track staff and all the people. And I would say at these events, the people at the tracks, I want to say thank you to anybody. If you're watching this, you know somebody at the track or you worked at one of these places, they work their asses off at these events, because at a normal event, like let's just take my home track, for instance, Irwindale, I think on like a busy tested tune, there's, I don't know, 100 cars, maybe a little more, if that, maybe, right? I'm in LA, there's a lot of people in LA, the lanes get stacked and they book out. You're talking 8th mile track, so they're running quarter mile at all these events, which is, it takes longer, right? Because the track's longer, twice the time of the cars on the track, and then that is extrapolated by like 300 cars. So they're running like 3 times the normal amount of like a tested tune that I get at a local spot. And you figure I get, if it's really jammed up and you get there kind of late, you get maybe 2 runs, right? Depending if they're really booked and backed up. Well, you'll get 2 to 3 roughly. I mean, depending on oil downs and everything else. But these track staff are moving cars through. They are there all day. It seems like they take breaks, but I mean, they really bust their asses. So my hat is off to all the track staff, all the people that run and work these events. So yeah, the cost to entry to these, in my opinion, that's not the half of what the cost really is, but they deserve every dollar that they get, especially for those tracks and all those people that work there. Trust me, there's a lot of people. It's a zoo. They make it run smooth, and for the amount of cars and how smooth the events run, it is phenomenal. So wanted to throw that out there. So yeah, the entry is like $500. The other consideration you have is I'm in Southern California. I do Rocky Mountain Race Week 3 times, 2 of which were Colorado based, and then you kind of venture off from there. And this last one was Oklahoma based, which is even further away from home. All these events tend to be East Coast. I am full West Coast, like I'm, I don't know, 40 minutes from the beach or something like that over here. So it is a trek just to get to the events for me. So you got to cover your cost of fuel, right? You got to cover hotel rooms before the event even starts. Like it's usually a 2-day drive wherever I'm going, and we're pretty hardcore. Me and the War Boys will do, I don't know, 15, 18-hour drive days. I did 23 with my wife that one day accidentally. I mean, we were pushing it that time. And then we will just take the old nap in the gas and go or wherever that's safe to pull over and sleep. So the adventure getting there and back, we try to keep as cheap and as quickly as possible. But other people might have family or dogs or whatever, and you gotta get those hotel rooms, right? Maybe you want to take a break. Maybe you're not a complete idiot and you don't want to sit in your car for 15, 18 hours a stretch. I don't blame you. And that's before, pre and post the event. We're not even talking the event. So you also kind of have to be cut out for this. I will be honest with you. Or you just have the extra time, right? If you have the extra time, by all means, I would love to be able to do that one day, but it is what it is. So fuel cost, hotel rooms, pre and post. And then on the event, you've got multiple, I want to say like at least 6 days of hotel rooms. Like the day you show up, and then the day you leave, you're usually staying there. You're not usually leaving the day of the event. So hotel costs are pretty exorbitant, right? Exorbitant. And then fuel costs, depending on what you're driving, hauling, all that stuff adds up. And then on top of that, you've got food. You could eat gas station delicious, you know, rolled burrito tacos or whatever, gas station pizza, I recommend. Or you might stop for dinners and whatnot. So again, the budget swings. I would say on average, you're around $2,000 to $4,000. Yes, I said that, 2,000 to 4,000, maybe even a little more. I thought 4 was cool. I mean, it could be 5, right? Let's just say, depending on if you want to eat steaks every night and you put premium gas in, you got a big rig, and you want to stay at hotel rooms every night and luxury is your jam. Maybe you got a wife that's like, hey, I'll go with you, but we're doing it this way. I don't know what your situation is, but I would say on average about $2,000 to $4,000. So you got to be prepared and you got to save up to go. So with that being said, let's do a little bit of math, because now everybody's freaking out. You probably turn the video off and you're like, I don't have an extra $2,000 to $4,000 to spend on something I've never been on. It can't be that great. Well, I'm here to tell you it is great, and you need to save your money. So we'll give you some tips real quick. So if you break down, you do the math, right? Let's just say it was $2,000 or $4,000, because that's the monies I stated. $2,000 divided by 30, right? 30 days a month. Or I'm sorry, $2,000 divided by a year, 12, would be $167 a month, or $334 a month if you were shooting for the $4,000, right? So in 1 year, over a span of 12 months, if you were to save up and you just started saving money, that's how much you would have to save. Well, there's some of you that are like, well, I don't have $300 a month. That's a lot, or $167 a month. I can't afford that. Well, you break it down again. This is how I chew problems up. You just break them down until it's something you can swallow, and you go, hey, that's not so bad. So break that down again. So that's over the course of 12 months. Well, let's break that down into 30-day increments, right? 167 bucks in 30 days is $5.60. Your Taco Bell taco or your Starbucks, you know, see this? This is coffee. Tastes great. I brewed it here. It's not a Starbucks. Look at that. I'm on my way to saving $2,000 by brewing this at home. If you want to save an extra $4,000, it's $11.14. So you skip the Starbucks and the burrito. Now you're cooking with fire. And guess what? You put that in the piggy bank, bam. That's $4,000 to go drag racing just because you skipped your Starbucks latte and your burrito, right? And you make up for those with this right here. You get yourself some top ramen. You get yourself some Chef Boyardee. And don't think that I bought these for the video. I just went in the house, pulled these out of the cupboard. And these are even the fancy noodles. I had the top ramen. My boy just ate the last one, so we're on to the fancy. So yeah, make lunch at home. Peanut butter, sandwiches. I do all that stuff. I am not too proud to say that I don't, but I will do that if that's what it means for me to go racing with 300, 400, 500 of my best friends and to spend the kind of money that we're talking about here. So break it down, you know, $5 a day, that seems pretty doable. So you could make a coffee at home. You could pack a lunch for work. Don't go to Taco Bell. Maybe limit how many times you go to Taco Bell or whatever it is. What, you know, whatever the kids are eating these days out. Recycle some junk. Take your cans, collect your cans, throw them in the thing. You get 20. Say you get 20 bucks for that bag of cans or however many bags of cans it was. How many days is that at $5 a piece or $11, right? So that stuff adds up. Sell stuff on Marketplace. I went to a swap meet with a buddy of mine, and I remember he would sell stuff, and I was like, I don't have anything to sell. He said, just clear the stuff out on your shelf. You'd be surprised. So I was bringing stuff. I was like, nobody's going to want this. Nobody's going to want that. And he's like, just bring it. You'd be surprised on how much money you can make on Facebook Marketplace listing stuff that you don't even think is worth something. It's worth something to somebody else. So there's some easy extra money. Yeah, you got to deal with the public. Yeah, you might have to haggle. But do you want to go racing or not? You can start an OnlyFans and sell feet pics. Who knows? Maybe you can start one and threaten people with it and like blackmail and say, I will send you feet pics. Maybe you got some ugly feet. And they're like, I will pay you to not send me those pics anymore. Boom, there you go. Work more hours at work, get a side hustle. People drive Uber, they do all that other stuff. If you want to be a race car driver, you want to practice for drag week and race week in Rocky Mountain, there's got to be some driving in there. Maybe you can Uber a bunch and you can just pretend that you're on route or whatever, dropping people off and picking people up. Again, these are just, I'm being funny, side hustle, obviously. But the reality is if it is extra, you're going to have to do extra, right? Extra doesn't come from doing nothing. So you got to figure something out. But there's all kinds of hustles and ways that you can go the extra mile. You do a little extra and you save it up. And over the course of time, bada boom, bada bing. The sacrifice, in my opinion, is worth it. Here's another one. Here's a personal one on a real note that I ended up having to do in order to go to these events. And that is local test and tune, right? I used to be I don't want to say I was a staple, but I would go at least twice a month, I would say, at least. I try to go every week. It's called Thursday Night Thunder at Irwindale, my local track. Every Thursday the track goes off. Weather's always beautiful because it's California. There's some days you don't want to go, but at least twice a month, even like right now, it's hot, but when the sun goes down, it cools off. So I mean, every single Thursday through like December, I think they close it down for December because they make a thing of lights out of it. Other than that, there's racing year round here, right? I used to go all the time. I know a bunch of people there. I have friends. I enjoy being at the track. It is my feel-good place. I don't have bad days at the track. I like being there. I like being around the track. I like, even when I don't have my car, it motivates me. Well, I did the math on that, and it's easily, I would say easily $100, right? For me to gas the car up, gas the truck up, load the stuff. You do dinner, you pay, I think it's $20-30 to race for the evening or whatever. So to go to, it's like LA area, to go LA and back, trailer all my stuff, dinner, the whole nine, easily $100. And it's not that big of a deal. You're like, oh, $100, I can go test and tune once a month, $100 a month to go race my car and do what I love, right? Well, you go twice a month, or maybe you stretch it, you're doing 3. That's $100 to $300 a month to go do what you enjoy. And that's if you're not chewing up tires and all those other things, you're adding parts. So let's just say I went once a month. This is how I broke it down in my brain. I went once a month easily to go test and tune and rip the car, especially when it was running, right? And then hell, even just to watch, it's like 20 bucks to get in, and then dinner. You're still in, let's say 50 bucks to do that. Get in, dinner, gas, easy 50 bucks just to go, just to hang out and smell some burning tires. Do the math on that, right? Let's just call it an even 100 because it's easy math and I don't look like a complete idiot on here. That's $1,200. $1,200 for test and tune once a month with your car. So I don't know how many guys do test and tune. You probably drive a lot further. Maybe you don't have a local track. Maybe it's hours away. Maybe the test and tune is more expensive than a $30 rip down the track. Maybe it's 100 bucks just to get in, plus food and everything else. And I get it. It is fun. You want to be there. You want to test the car. But also, we are in drag and drive here. This is a street legal vehicle, and I'm not condoning going to Mexico and being a complete idiot and wrapping it around a telephone pole. Not by any stretch. I take safety very seriously, but when I need to test my car, I'll drive it on the freeway. You can give it some throttle. You know when you're being a knucklehead, right? There's no shame in, you know, doing a quick little jaunt, kind of getting on and off freeways, doing whatever. You don't need to put people in harm's way, but you'll know if the car runs good enough or not. You don't have to wood the thing and do 300 miles an hour on the on-ramp, right? Going the speed limit, which is roughly around 80 miles an hour, to go from 0 to 80 miles an hour, you're probably gonna have a pretty good idea if the car is running or not, right? So, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. But just me cutting that out, that's $1,200 in my account. Boom, right? And then other little things. I do some swap meet stuff. I buy and sell LS motors. I have race car parts here and there. I used to do lots of kind of side gigs and things and paint and do stuff. Fortunately, I have, you know, stuff I don't really have to do that, but when I do, I will. I'm not afraid to do it. But that all facilitates and ends to a mean. And if you break it down, it makes it not so bad. So just take things into consideration. So maybe if you don't want to do all the extra, look at what you are doing and break that up and go, hey, you know, if I do this X amount of times a month, it's this much money. Could I live without that to do this? And let me tell you this, last thing that I will get to, so we're not long-winded and I'll keep going all day on this subject. The memories you're gonna make in 1 week's time with 300 to 500 of your best friends that you don't even know yet are worth the sacrifice of missing a year's worth of test and tune for me. The reason being, when I go to test and tune, it's the same knuckleheads, the same cars run the same times. Maybe they're improving, maybe they're not. Those guys are all there to have fun too. They have drag cars. It's the same hobby, same passion, right? A lot of them freak out because my car does drive. Like I can drive the car there. I drove my car to the track and I made all my license passes on the test and tune night. With the help of the people that run the track, let's be honest, I did get to kind of cheat and drive past people. So sorry if you're at Irwindale and you're watching this and you watch me drive by. But I was just doing 60-foot all slow passes. Anyways, point being, those people are there. They all enjoy it too. But it's kind of the same stuff. When you go to these events, you get cars from all over the country. Some cars come from out of the country, and every once in a while you get some really heavy hitters. You got some cars that you're not going to see at your local test and tune thing that are ripping, that are street cars, and you get to drive with them and see them at hotel checkpoints, gas up next to some of these guys, and you get to meet some people that you'll never get to meet, and you're going to make lifelong friends because everybody is suffering in the trenches. It's like going to war. You go to battle, you get battle tested, you get hardened, you test your mettle, and you come out on the other side and you have these people that they do it. And then at a certain point, it actually does, trust me, it does become fun. You are going to struggle. There's no way around the struggle. As soon as you accept that and you're like, this might be the year I struggle, and you deal with it and you decide how much struggle you're willing to take. The first year, you better take all the struggle you can though and finish that damn event, because that is a badge of honor like none. You do that a couple times and then maybe you get down to like your third one and you're like, hey, I walled my car. Maybe I won't try to fix it this go around. We'll bring it back next year. I don't know. I'm just saying. But it is worth it. The memories, the friends you make, you basically get to become part of a big, giant, degenerate family that spans the entire United States and even in other countries. There's people from out of the country that come to these, and you're going to make friends and have contacts all over the U.S. You're going to be part of the clique and the group of the people that do this. And I'm like your local drug pusher, because I'm going to tell you, you need to go do it. You need to save your money. You need to try it. And as soon as you get to do one, then I don't have to preach these anymore. The sport's going to grow. We're all going to be gravy. And I can come up with other opinion-related topics to beat you guys over the head with. Leave your comments. Leave the bombs, booms. I appreciate all you guys. You guys have been phenomenal. Thank you very much. Let's talk about stuff. Leave some questions, comments. Maybe you don't agree with me. Maybe you do. Maybe you back me up. Maybe you have your own stuff. Maybe you got a topic we can talk about next time. And until next time, I'm out.